Bautista has been so strong toward 3 points. He's top independent though by 19 ahead of Dominic Eggers.
Very quickly, the main difference is out in the
race 2 of the 2023 Prosecco DOC Catalunya round. Bautista ultimately, it's not even a question of being bold. Bautista is well clear, and the other factory Ducat Locatelli coming through on him for 4th out also. Jonathan Rea has not got off to the best. The pair have got to be careful not to trip over one another. They've got Iker Corona directly in front of him, and what was left open through turn 5, the slowest corner on the circuit at just 70 kilometres per hour. Wsbk leads Bautista. Rinaldi now right with him, attacking in the early stages, coming off. Who thinks about a move here on Locatelli? Comes from a way back into turn 10, but gets the move done. So
this early lap we've been able to see Bautista a little bit careful out there. Rinaldi actually a lot faster mid-corner in a few places.
Wsbk at the end of the race, but he might not even need to wait that long, because here we go onto the Lowe's is going to pass Wsbk here. Toprak might be able to defend 3rd on the brakes, but
now with these changeable conditions, it's about who's willing to put it on the line as early as possible in these races. Turn 1 he was able to come from 8th all the way up to the front of the field. You can see there the march
through turn 5. Honda friendly fire as Wsbk and Lecco
getting a bit of attention there from the medics as well. Alvaro Bautista out in front. It was at this corner last time, of a second back, so Alvaro now starting to get his head down and starting to push on.
It is Alvaro Bautista Locatelli, and he's made up a little bit of that in the second half of this lap 2. He's got well a few years ago when Jonathan Rea used to regularly come through from 9th place and make swift work of it. He's how this race goes on. We look back from Alvaro Bautista as Alex Lowe's pulls alongside. Outlook for the number 22 KRT bike.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday, a couple of crashes for Lowe's. We saw technical flags still out, so the marshals still working on just getting that corner.
Makes a lunge from well back going in towards turn 5, so he's now through on Wsbk. That's for
Rea. He needs to make sure he's able to jump onto the rear wheel and then give himself a chance to attack, as it is the pace right now. And they come up round the next time just to see what the conditions are like. Everyone's clearly pushing on now at this stage, so they're confident.
We ride on board with Wsbk as he watches ahead to Jonathan Rea in P6.
Yeah, Garrett Gerloff there in the 31 white BMW. He's right there with Lecco as well. He's got himself ready for a fight.
New fastest lap of the race from Alex Lowe's on lap 3. 1 minute 42. Got a bit of breathing room to try and really get his head down and attack Bautista now. Might not be able to go with that, having been released back onto the tail of Xavi Wsbk by Jonathan Rea, passing his teammate.
Now he needs to recover from that. He's up there in the top 10. He's at the pace to be a front row starter this weekend. In the build-up about Iker Lecco for Honda, if Lecco can have 3 top 6s, it's a really good effort.
But up at the front, they're going significantly faster than that. As I said, Lowe's with that 1 minute 42 point. He looks to have stabilised things in the gap to Jonathan Rea that has remained fairly static. Rea still Bautista and Rinaldi 1 and 3. The official Kawasaki bikes from KRT. Lowe's are through on Lowe's in the slipstream. So Rinaldi, who was found out by Lowe's earlier on, and long thus far, directly behind him.
Yeah, we know that as the races have gone on during the course of the
5th place, this is the move getting done by Michael Ruben Rinaldi on Alex Lowe's.
And
Alvaro Bautista beginning to wind himself up now, the advantage over a second before, which is why the gap has opened out to such an extent, and Bautista's done the job again on this lap. Looks like he's
pulled back another few tenths of a second. That's because he's out there setting fastest lap last time around. He's going faster again, so much confidence, but it is now a race for second.
Next scrap is going to be for 5th position. The bit between his teeth after his turn 1 fall earlier on, making amends at the same course, cover 5th position. Rea will now have the momentum coming through turns 3 and 4. See if he can jump it though for the moment by Andrea Locatelli in 5th.
Yeah, we saw Rea have a really strong performance yesterday.
Lowe's versus Wsbk for 4th. We've got a Kawasaki attacking a Yamaha. Rea is a super pole race this morning.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do in these race 2s. You got to be able to take advantage of your good grid position.
Toprak with the run coming off turn 9, but wasn't quite close enough. Rea also not getting on.
The Kawasaki very strong in a straight line when Toprak was trying to attack Jonathan Rea, but we'll see if he's
well to open the gap to Alex Lowe's. That's up to over a second.
Yeah, Rinaldi set 2.
It's through on Alex Lowe's, who tries to close the door, but the door is already ajar, and Wsbk
just to go in that few bike lengths deeper.
Yeah, we knew that move was coming, didn't we, from Toprak as soon as he...
You can see these 4 riders getting closer and closer to one another. As it is, though, Rinaldi with another personal best last time around.
Been slower laps than Bautista at the head of the field.
You can see there how Lowe's was right on the limit. Little head shake at 1.6 seconds. Now Toprak way out of shape.
Andrea Locatelli has upped his pace, and that's what doesn't look like we're going to have a race for first. Doesn't even look like we're going to have a race for second here, but we're certainly going to have...
Bautista and Rinaldi have had that edge over everyone all the way through this weekend in terms of their pace. Now they're starting to...
7. Wsbk made the pass to the inside of Lowe's on lap 8. Lowe's covers to the change this time around into turn 1.
Yeah, and you have to keep an eye on the Hondas behind as well. For Xavi Vieira, the Honda tends to get stronger as the race goes on.
Quick word on Axel Bassani. He is really struggling in this one down in...
Right alongside Lecona there behind Xavi Vieira. We'll see if he was able to come through. Bassani's one of the only riders out. That's why he opted for that harder tyre, but it's not working in this one.
Lap 8 of 20. Four of them as they come down the back straight and in towards turn 10. Yamaha, Kawasaki, Girloff and Egerter. Petrucci with also the pace advantage in race is what we're watching.
Yeah, it is a big group now at this stage, and Petrucci right at the back.
Here on Toprak Razgatlioglu at the end of lap 8. We'll see if Lowe's can again put manners.
Of course, the last 5 laps, it has been about 3/10 of a second between Bautista and Rinaldi, so we're not tally group. And then it's a case of just seeing who's going to have the tyre on thinking at the end of this race. We're still about it on Friday. You're almost not really able to have a lot of fun when you're here on a race tyre. You're having to making sure you've got enough rubber left at the end of the race.
One big group, as you said, 2.5 seconds covering 30. But for the moment, he's got plenty of bikes between himself and a potential podium position. Pecking order by the end of 20 laps.
Yeah, it just depends who's pushing that a little bit harder. It is a lot cooler today compared to...
Does he just making his way steadily through? So perhaps he is one that we should be keeping an eye on the leader, sitting in 3rd position. So big gap from 1st to 3rd at this stage. Gerloff through on Lecona there in towards turn 1 on lap 10. So Garrett Gerloff, Lecona and Egerter. So Egerter now passes Garrett Gerloff's on P8, is enabling Wsbk to escape away at his home round.
Yeah, Domi on the 77. He's the rider to prevent themselves. He's good at managing that Pirelli tyre as well. The Yamaha is good for that too. He's the guy to keep...
Another dramatic finish. We do often see them here at the Catalunya round. Razgatlioglu with another big second back from Alex Lowe's, who is consolidating that 4th place. Jonathan Ray hasn't had the answer on the scrap. Egerter, Gerloff, Petrucci increasingly part of it as well. Catalunya, we saw it in the test at the end of March. We saw it when Lecona took pole position here as they make their way through turns 1 and 2 on lap 11.
Yeah, and he's looking comfortable as well. The Honda top speed is big, but it is still strong for Lecona. That's why it's really important corner exit for Domi to set up a move like this.
Down in GRT as their man, at least he's confident enough to make the moves. He's got the bike underneath him at
straight, but Domi does look like he's up for the fight now.
Yes, he's beginning to drop Garrett Gerloff as well.
His own, he's been 2 or 3/10 of a second a lap faster than Rinaldi over the last 10 laps up to Toprak and the next group.
Ducati, Yamaha, Kawasaki, a couple of positions. He is slower than the riders around him. Last lap slower than everyone, all the way back to
Gerloff. At least he's 6 seconds in front of the next BMW. He's doing what you have to do on that bike, which is just
came across the start-finish line to move into lap number 12. So the race for the podium position.
In his race pace, we've seen it where Super Pole laps, there's really nothing to choose between the two Kawasaki riders. To come through the pack a little bit in the 4th row of the grid, you have to use a little bit more tyre. You put yourself under a bit more
at the moment, and Locatelli is going slower than the men in front, a few tenths of a second a lap slower actually, which is why Telly.
Yeah, he's stuck at that pace, but that's also the pace it looks like he's fit to run. We heard from on the grid with Dave Goddard difficult, and that's how it's transpired.
Xavi Vieira 6/10 of a second back from Ray in P7.
Here Axel Bassani down in 12th. It's been a weekend like this for Bassani. Obviously the headlines made yesterday. Had the pace comfortably to be out in front of Bassani. It's a little bit rash from both of them yesterday, but now you've got
Lecona almost getting bunched up behind teammate Xavi Vieira. This is where the moves are going to be. 7th, 8th, 9th.
He needs to clear his teammate now. He's been faster than him all weekend. Now he needs to make sure he's able to give himself a chance at the top. That's also the big reason he has to get in front of his teammate. Put a bike between yourself and Domi.
Yes, that wouldn't be right within touching distance. Really, more so than a battle for 8th. This is a battle for 7th.
Who's been able to manage their tyre, give themselves a chance. This isn't your typical superbike race where it's all, and that's where some riders, some bike combinations do tend to work a little bit better. You can see here the Yamaha is a case of getting into the right position to make the moves.
3 feature-length races in a row where Egerter has been able.
Expectation is Domi could be the rider that steps up. He's smart, he's got good racecraft, and he's got a good,
just enough grunt to hold on yet again coming into lap 14.
That's confidence on the front end though from Iker.
And here goes Jonathan Ray on Andrea Locatelli, almost catch them by surprise. Locatelli is forced
to edge away from Lowe's. Toprak able to keep his pace in the low 43s, matching what Rinaldi's doing in the over lows at this stage, and now it's just a case of trying to keep that head down and maintain the momentum. See any chance that he's had to race with his teammate, he's coming through, and now he's got to make up that 1 point.
He must have got into a drama because he was in the points.
Yeah, he made him. Well, you can see there a technical issue there in the middle
position anyway. He wasn't where the scrap is. Still, the race is out at the back of your shot there. Ray Locatelli trying to respond against Ray is unable to do so. So good defence from Ray, but he's gone in deep.
Try and attack Jonathan Ray.
Lecona for 8th position. So an opportunity for Egerter to now start thinking.
Crew, what happened to his bike, and disappointment for him once again this weekend. It's been a tough start to the exercise that on both sides.
Dominic Egerton then is the man to watch at this stage of the race. Some weaknesses at the back of that bike, that's for sure.
I think he's going to find it a little bit easier to come through, and Xavi Vieira compare comes down to tyre life and just making sure you're able to make those moves.
5 laps to go.
41 at the start of the race, that's just to try and open up a bit of a gap, but everything in those 42s really all.
For the last of the top 10 positions, so Petrucci had a slow lap last time, now only a 1/10 of a second ahead of Dominic Egerton.
Yeah, and we'll see if Domi's able to get a run. It's all going to be key.
Egerton, this is the move from Gerloff.
Yeah, down in towards turn 1, and Gerloff's talked an awful lot about this. Xavi Vieira's been the fastest man through the speed trap all weekend. It's going to be tough to make the move into turn 1. You'd imagine that for Domi it's about...
Pin to the tail of Xavi Vieira. This is Ikalekuona. He's got the best view of it. He's 7/10 of a line here at the Catalonia round all weekend long, and Egerton drops back.
Yeah, look at how many bike lengths but it gives you a good advantage defending those positions into turn 1. It also means that
Jonathan Rea, now we'll find out whether Rea has got the advantage in the closing laps to try.
Now he's back down to 43.6, so maybe just a small mistake, but at this stage of the race to be in those mid-40, that extra position.
As you say, that's what's enabled Jonathan Rea to get that gap down to a second. He's now got it. Runs off the corners, but in a straight line, Xavi Vieira is the man with the advantage. So
now very much under attack from Garrett Gerloff behind him. Gerloff's done a good job in this lap. He's pulled back for
11th position. Bassani's almost 3 seconds further back than him, so not a good day. Placing Axel Bassani in 12th again. Dominic Egerton coming off the final turn at the end of lap 17 to get in line.
The move we're going to see is the other Honda rider, Ikalekuona, because last time around Garrett Gerloff pulled back an awful lot.
So as you say, Garrett Gerloff with that gap now down to just 3/10 of a second. Dominic Egerton going very few tenths of a second.
But look at Locatelli now. Locatelli's lost a lot of time in the last few laps. He's come cards 2.5 laps to clear 2 riders for Domi. He hasn't been able to get alongside Xavi at this stage going and out, so it's all about the scrap now for Xavi Vieira, but he could get a top 6 finish here.
Yeah, Dominic Egerton through the field pretty well. Late race pace is never in question for Dominic Egerton. Pence over Xavi Vieira, so keeping them at arm's length, and he'll need to because Eoglu 2.9 seconds further back than Michael Ruben Rinaldi, who sits in P2. Alex Lowe's for 4th place. Andrea Locatelli holds 6th, but once again Xavi Vieira's got that gap down.
He's about 15 seconds behind his teammate, so that gives a good indication of the good job that Gerloff's developing. It's very tough to actually manage to bridge back to people, and that's why the gap's just
Gerloff in P9 now, but up in 6th position, Andrea Locatelli 3/10 up on Xavi Egerton for the moment, can't find his way past.
You have to say, though, really good effort from Vieira on the number 97. Put the pressure onto Locatelli as much as anything else. He's now switched his focus from being on the last lap.
And you'd have to say it has been a strong performance this season from Xavi Vieira. He's already 9 points up.
From Xavi is that now he is right there with Locatelli. He's had the top speed advantage all the way through this weekend.
Him up, he'd been narrowing that gap, and the fastest man through the speed tracks here at the Catalonia round. Sets up a move to either turns 4 or 5, but Vieira begins to open up that gap instead.
Yeah, Locatelli might well have to think a little bit about Domi Aguilar. Might be enough of a gap though for Locatelli.
Well, it is only half. Andrea Locatelli, but 3/10 now has opened up in favour of Xavi Vieira, and I think that consecutive top 5 finishes for Andrea Locatelli. Locatelli with a bit of a run though on Xavi Vieira.
Tough time to get through to the end of this race and claim the 20 points for second, but he's left himself.
Superbike World Championship. Oh, and a race to the line for second, and top rank Raskowski hopefully completes that.
But for Rinaldi to give up that second spot, give up the Ducati 1-2, that's going to...
Now for Yamaha as well in the Superbike World Championship, but the man who's had all without losing even a lap, he has led every lap this weekend. He set every fast, managed 3 hat-tricks in that dominant early stages of 2019. 11 wins in 12.
I didn't make the race yesterday, so maybe if I race tomorrow, I know how to manage it in a better way.
Got very strong, but we try, we are keep fighting. Thank you very much.